To some, the idea of painting on a wall is fun. But not everyone feels that way.
Absolutely disgusting.
With clean-up costs totalling an estimated $100 million in New South Wales each year, the state government feels the same. Their response has been to crack down, and it is now illegal to sell a spray can to anyone under the age of 18. But despite the state government's best efforts, the rate of graffiti vandalism is on the rise. And it's forcing councils to find their own solutions. Projects officer from Warringah Council, Paul Hogan, says that a zero-tolerance policy is the wrong way to tackle the issue.
The culture dates back to, to ancient times. It's always been there. It's still prevalent internationally. So to suggest that any council can get rid of graffiti or the culture associated with it is pretty naive as far as I'm concerned.
He says that a middle ground needs to be established between those opposed to graffiti and those creating it. Paul's idea is legal walls, spaces where people can spray without breaking the law.
And the fact is that you just can't do quality work in dimly lit back alleys. That if you want to do quality artwork, you've got to do it in daylight, and you've got to do it where you've got time to actually refine your craft and put the time and energy into designing it and doing it properly. And you just can't do that where there are no legal opportunities.
Warringah is one of the few areas with legal walls, and Paul says people come from across Sydney to use them.
And recently I was talking to a group of kids from Penrith who'd come all the way to paint one of our legal walls at Miller's Reserve. They spent the entire day, it was a really hot day, they spent the entire day doing it, both sides. It was actually a memorial for a friend of theirs who had died, a girl who was killed in a skiing accident, and it was the 12-month anniversary. So they'd come all the way from Penrith and spent the entire day piecing both sides of this wall down at Miller's Reserve. They put obviously a lot of time and energy and thought into it. And it was gone the next day, painted over the next day.
Could you tell us a bit about where we're heading now?
Yeah, well, we've got currently 5 legal wall sites in Warringah. The one we're about to go and have a look at is called Passmore Reserve. It's a Manly Valley.
Opposite a high school and on the edge of a sports field, this amenities block is a favourite for graph artists wanting to test out their skills.
The more prominent wall, which faces the public view, tends to get the better quality work. If you go around the back here, some of these walls that are out of view tend to be sort of practice walls. The young people who are not such experienced artists tend to use these less prominent walls for practicing, refining their skills.
You can smell the paint.
Yeah, still quite fresh.
Look how thick it is, really. We need to come and get close-ups of these because it's so.
Actually, if you come around the other way, there's some kids doing the other work now.
Make sure you blur it, please.
Yeah, of course.
Get in a lot of trouble. My boys, right there.
But kids with cans aren't the only part of this street culture. The graph artist has multiple faces. This is the work of Shannon Crees, a Warringah local who considers herself a part of the street art scene. Shannon says that graffiti is a legitimate form of art and shouldn't have such harsh penalties.
There's really bad consequences in terms of jail sentences, and I know people personally who've gone to jail and done time for this. Painting, it's pretty ridiculous, but that doesn't deter people. That almost seems to make people more attracted to it because it's dangerous.
She says that making graffiti illegal stifles a subculture and reduces the quality of work on the street.
I know some graffiti artists personally, and I've looked at the cross-section of their work, and they tag everywhere they go, and because it's illegal, it's not very nice, and I personally think it's pretty ugly, but they are capable and they've done some professional jobs, and you see what they're capable of if they're given some time to do something.
Shannon says that quality murals and works that fill up entire walls could be a good way to deter uglier tags. But any street scene needs to involve the community. 2 years ago, Shannon was commissioned by Leichhardt Council to paint a wall that was being targeted by taggers. In developing the mural, Shannon chose bright and colourful images that aim to capture the essence of the community. Gelatos, people and planes all feature, and the wall has been tag-free since its makeover. Leichhardt Mayor Jamie Parker has only positive things to say about the result.
It's not just about painting over a wall that had graffiti, but it's about ensuring that recognising art and minimising the amount of open blank walls where people can tag, supporting local emerging artists in the community, all those things together make a policy that really functions well.
But in some areas of Sydney, finding a solution hasn't been so simple. Keep Australia Beautiful CEO Peter McLean says giving graph artists a place to paint won't necessarily mean they'll clean up their act.
There's been wide research undertaken internationally, in fact, to suggest that these legal walls definitely don't work. Very, very strong. There's not one piece of information that says that they do work, and there's new information coming out of the United Kingdom which strongly suggests that they don't work.
In May this year, Keep Australia Beautiful launched its first Graffiti Action Day in response to perceived community dissent about graffiti. Even the New South Wales Premier got behind the cause.
Graffiti, like this wall here in my local community, is a blight on our community. It's unsightly, it makes people feel unsafe, and it costs millions a year for us to clean up.
But what is one state government's trash is another gallery's treasure.
Some believe that street art and certain forms of graffiti should be given a place in the art world. Here at the National Gallery in Canberra, a new exhibition is doing just that.
The Space Invaders exhibition is a collection of some of the best works of Australian street art. And curator Jacqueline Babington says its display marks a shift in attitudes towards this type of work.
It hasn't been until now probably that works like this can be shown at the National Gallery. So there's definitely been a transition in the scene itself, and like collectors' attitudes towards street art and the gallery's attitudes towards street art over the past 5 years in particular.
But to make it to the polished walls of Australia's top gallery, people need a space to hone their skills.
I definitely would like to be able to practice and get better with spray can, because it takes years to get the technical skill to be able to do artwork quickly, and with spray can it's quite a difficult medium.
And the overuse of Warringa's walls is a testament to the demand for space.
You see here, there's quite a lot of coats of paint there. It's sort of half an inch thick in some places, and this has been recoated almost daily, I think, for probably 10 years.
While there will always be some out to destroy for the sake of it, taking away the few spaces that exist to indulge in this vice legally could do more harm than good.
What do you reckon would happen if we got rid of all these legal walls?
Destroy your streets. Yeah, I'd fucking bomb anything and everything. I don't really care what it is.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll fucking bomb your house, I don't care. Like, it's no thing to me. Make sure you blur that shit.
Yeah, we will. We won't use your faces. Okay.
Not again.